Hey, Leo, Happy New Year! Welcome. We're going to see what's happening in 2020 for our lovely Leo friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to check in with this deck here. We're going to pull one card for each and every month of 2020 and see what's going on for that month. And then we're going to pull an angel card at the end to get an idea of which angel is going to be with Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the year 2020. So without further ado, my darlings, let's jump right on in and see what's going on with our fabulous Leos, our lovely Leos. Here is our January 2020. So for January 2020, Leo, we have Temperance. All right, this is actually, I would say, a pretty loaded card. To have this come off as the beginning for your year, it's going to be quite a year. And I say this in a good way. I say this in a positive way. Temperance, you have to understand, is a major arcana card. And as far as the major arcana cards go, there's a lot of meaning with this card especially. It can indicate that a lot of you are coming into 2020 with this feeling where you're finally ready to embrace and accept your calling and path, whatever that may be. Some of you already know what it is. Some of you feel like you're on the verge of finding it, but you're not sure quite what yet it is. But you're going into 2020 like just ready to be whatever you're meant to be doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. Some of you are going in with a very specific, very clear idea of what you hope to accomplish, and you're wanting to do it very fast, very quick early on in the year. Temperance says, look, this is going to happen. This is meant to happen. You're going to succeed in this, but you have to understand something is happening behind the scenes that you can't see yet. That's going to be very, very relevant for the situation later. So there may be some detours or there may be some changes to the plan, but you have to trust and know this is a part of you becoming successful. Temperance also comes in with the message of patience. You got to walk before you can run. You might be pushing yourself way too hard. You might have some expectations that are not very realistic. And at times, temperance can come up at that way as well. I do feel for a lot of you Leos, I was about to say Libras. I do feel for a lot of you I do feel for a lot of you Leos. I got Libra on the brain. I do feel for a lot of you Leos, the Temperance card is showing up more as you in your energy. I feel that something is happening right now where you feel frustrated because you're trying to help somebody. Like you're trying to wake somebody up, or you're trying to help them, get their life together. And you feel very strongly a connection to this person. You feel very strongly a very strong soul connection. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be parents, it could be siblings, it could be a friend. It doesn't have to be a romantic situation. But I feel you're really trying to help someone get themselves together. And they might not be getting it, okay? They just might not be getting it. But you feel and you know that, like, spirit is moving through you, or spirit, you're wanting to be a light worker in some way in someone's life. And spirit is saying, look, there's factors of timing here. Trust the process, and just trust and know that spirit is working. Okay, and leave it to spirit. Do what you can, but don't feel like you have to chase. Don't feel like you have to convince. Don't feel like you have to convert. Be there, in the ways that you've been there, and surrender the outcome, surrender the time frame to the universe, and understand somebody else needs to be doing their work, or somebody, like, there's issues with their timing, and you're not responsible for that. Take the pressure off of you. Don't take so much of it on your shoulders. You may be a lifeboat, passing along in someone's life, but it's up to them what they do with it. And it's not your fault if they don't make appropriate use of the opportunity that's being given them. Okay. A lot of times, though, you guys have heard me say this in the videos, temperance kind of tells me there's more to the story. So something could be happening in January that feels very unfinished to you. Or you're saying, you know what? I'm not going to go into 2020, another year with this stuff. And you might feel like you don't have closure in a situation, but you're moving on. But temperance says the reason why it feels so unfinished is because it's not quite finished. There is still more to come here, okay? Like I said, divine timing. These other two diamonds are here because I'm going to be pulling clarifiers in the extended. Some of you say I talk too much, so we're gonna move on to your next card, Leo. But in the extended, we'll get right into like the meatier stuff. But let's go ahead and see February 2020 for Leo, please. And we have, Seven of Cups. So Leo, you guys, I'm telling you right off the bat, you're coming into this year where you are feeling like you have given something in the previous year way too much time, way too much energy, and you're coming out of limited thinking. When I see Seven of Cups, it's really good because it tells me, it tells me somebody is confused about a choice or a decision. They're overwhelmed about choices they have to make, but the good thing about it is it pretty much means to me you didn't realize you had these options until recently. Right? So you're kind of waking up where you're like, oh, okay, there are other things I could be doing, or there are opportunities here for me to take advantage of. But you might be having a hard time pinning down what exactly you want to do or how you want to do it. Struggling with figuring out what you want. And in this sense, a lot of the times I see Seven of Cups come up for someone where you're coming out of autopilot. You were going through life on autopilot, or you were waiting for other people to make a decision, or you were waiting for other things to just kind of like pan out in a certain way and show you what was supposed to happen. And now you're like, wait a minute though, but like, what do I want? What do I want though, right? And you might be having a hard time figuring that out. And a lot of the times it's because you kind of grew up thinking or being made to feel, maybe since you were very young, that the things that you wanted were stupid. Like, oh, you only think about stupid things, and that's not even important, or that's garbage, or it's this, or it's that, or it's junk. So you kind of learned to like not want things, or you kind of learned to just kind of, okay, well, let me do what I'm told, and I seem to like stupid things. And so going through life for a long period with that autopilot. Now you're coming out of that autopilot and you're realizing you want things. So I always say this with Seven of Cups, write down your options, the different things you're thinking of you're wanting to do. And then one by one, imagine yourself living that life, having made that choice. Which options make you feel the happiest as you're daydreaming them? Which ones make you feel the happiest? Go ahead and narrow down your list. And once you have that shorter list, go ahead and research. Okay, how can I make this happen? What will it require on my end? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to invest money? Is it going to require physical labor? And then you'll have an idea of how much work you have to do to get it versus how happy you felt when you were thinking about it. And then you can put that list in order. That, okay, well, I'm willing to do this much work for this kind of happiness, or I'm willing to, or that one might take a long time, so let me do this other one first because I might be able to get that done quicker. And then that way you can prioritize. This is going to be very helpful for those of you where you're just beginning to manifest. You're just beginning to realize that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that you don't have to be putting up with certain situations or certain types of crap, So make use of that. We're going to move along. Like I said, we're going to try to keep this going quickly, but we will pull clarifiers in the extended. Please show us March 2020. For Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please show us March 2020. Yeah, I like this card. I do. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a Scorpio, but I really do like this card. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio. There could be a significant Scorpio connection or Scorpio that you're dealing with in March that's going to be very significant for you. However, The Death card comes up when something has naturally, it's run its course. It's come to where it's meant to be. Whatever can be done about it is done, and something new will be born out of it. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. I want to be clear with you guys about something. I don't feel the vibe of this card connected to that first card about there being more to the story, like it's not over yet. For those of you where that situation involves an individual, I don't think that's going to be over or done in March. I don't think the Death card is about that ending. I'm getting more of a sense with this card, what we call in the spiritual world ego death. And that sounds terrifying, but it really isn't. Ego death is when we have this awakening and all of our old labels, all of our old views of ourselves or the way we looked at other people just completely and totally melt away. Okay, a lot of people will go and they'll do certain, like, you know, holistic things. They'll go to other, you know, to South America, and they'll do like herbal rituals and things like this. You don't need the herbs. I'm going to tell you that right now. You don't need the herbs. You don't need any special molecules to experience that. You know, I can tell you from my experience, I experienced that meditating on a trip to Joshua Tree. So you don't have to have like substances or use substances to have that experience. I really want to stress that. So especially if you're someone that you feel weary about that kind of thing or you feel scared about it, you don't have to incorporate those things in your process of awakening. But this ego death, when it happens, you feel very free because you realize basically that you are this blank slate and you have this fresh start and you can do whatever you want to do and you can be whoever you want to be, and you're getting more like back to factory settings. You're finding your natural self, you know, not the person people accuse you of being or tell you to be, but who you really are. And as a result, when we have this experience, we may no longer connect with the people that we've been hanging out with. We may have a really hard time staying in a job that we've been at for a very long time because we're not that person anymore. It's very much the concept of being born again, right? There's this born again aspect. Like in Christian religions or Christian teachings, they would call that being born again. So you're finding your spiritual connection. You're finding this newfound identity, this newfound freedom, and this desire to do the things that you feel are fulfilling and important to you. My advice to you is this. When you have this energy coming in for you in March, be patient, okay? Understand and know the next thing is coming. Right? Like, for example, if you just realize, man, I can't stay in this job anymore. Don't rush. Don't be like, okay, well, I'm just going to quit and I'm just going to leave and I'm just going to walk out. You don't have to do that unless you have someone that's going to be paying your bills and they're going to be okay with it. But if not, you know, leave it to the universe. Like, I'm ready. Please show me, guide me the steps to take. You know, where should I apply, or who should I talk to, or what classes should I take, or what would be the best step for me so that I can transition out of this into doing something that I enjoy more. So it feels to me this is more about you reinventing yourself. Okay, I feel like when we come into March 2020, Leo, a lot of yous. Oh, now I really sound like an East Coaster. A lot of you are going to be reinventing yourself. All right, we'll put clarifiers in the extended. Let's go on to the next one here. Please show us April 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, see, that's a quick action. You're going to go from that death card to that rebirth, that born again energy, to action. Knight of Wands is a very fast moving energy. Knight of Wands is things happening quickly. So it can be creative projects. It can be going after opportunities. It is very fast moving energy in terms of getting what you want, I want to say, you know, because it is very much connected to passion. Okay, there's a very strong passion element of it. And passion is not always sexual. Passion is not always in terms of like romantic relationships. You know, like you can be very passionate about art. You can be very passionate about social justice. You could be very passionate about politics, right? There's different ways that people can be passionate. So some of you are finding a passion and you're really moving forward quickly with it. And this is going to be the link to a lot of you to kind of finding what you are meant to do. For other ones of you, it could be where you're having to make a decision and you're not having a whole lot of time to make that decision. Sometimes I see Knight of Wands over the years reading for people. I've seen it come up where I got a vibe from it where there was some kind of ultimatum approaching. Somebody was going to be giving that person an ultimatum. And sure enough, I would get feedback and they'd say, yep, sure enough happened. My boss gave me an ultimatum. My girlfriend, my boyfriend gave me an ultimatum. So some of you, there could be people are seeing your changes that might be making them uncomfortable. And you might have people that are giving you ultimatums about behaviors. And you might be seeing who in your life kind of has this conditional love, or who in your life has this conditional support or conditional friendship. You know, I'm not a fan of ultimatums. Personally, don't give people ultimatums in my life. But some of you might be experiencing that, and some of you might be feeling that about somebody else. Maybe the role is reversed. You've had this awakening. You've had a lot of things changed. Maybe you're wanting to give somebody an ultimatum. My advice to you, though, is this. If you're about to give somebody an ultimatum, or if you're feeling like you want to give someone an ultimatum in April, prepare for them to not accept what you're laying down. Something happens with ego or with pride where people don't want to do it. So don't give the ultimatum unless you really, really mean it, because things are going to move quickly. Things are going to escalate. Things are going to transition to the next thing. For some of you, there could be a new lover that's coming along. This is the one thing I always say in love energy when Knight of Wands comes in, though. Knight of Wands is here for a good time, but he's not here for a long time, okay? It can apply to women or men. And a lot of the times when I see Knight of Wands come up, they are in and out. Like they would just show up and disappear and show up and disappear like some outdoor cat. So if that's going to frustrate you, and if that's going to frustrate you and be difficult for you to put up with, if someone's kind of sniffing around you in April, I would say let them prove themselves or let them show some kind of stability before you decide to, you know, get involved with them. Unless you're cool with that, right? Everybody's kind of in a different place in their journey. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but keep that in mind. We will pull clarifiers in the extended, get a better idea of how this Knight of Wands may be coming in for most of you. Please show us May 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please show us May for 2020. Oh my gosh, all these knights. You guys are like, where are the kings and queens? We don't want these knights. Alrighty. Okay. All right. So some of you might be turning somebody away in April. And in May, there's still maybe more kind of power struggle or more kind of going back and forth or trying to convince you or vice versa. I think April and May are going to be very, very interesting time for you. I think that for a lot of you, and I feel it's more you, Leo, I feel like since you've had this awakening, some of you are wanting to confront people or call people out. I feel for some of you, it's not feeling enough for you to just say, you know what, let bygones be bygones. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on me and I'm just going to distance myself from this person. You're like, no, like you're wanting to full on, like you're wanting to address it. Like, hey, look, I don't know if you thought I was stupid, but don't think that I don't know what you're trying to pull. Like, I feel some of you are wanting to confront people. There are going to be arguments for those of you that are going to be doing this, because Knight of Wands and Knight of Swords both give me the feeling that these aren't individuals who are going to be backing down. These aren't individuals who are going to say, oh my gosh, you got me. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. In fact, I keep hearing gaslighting. So maybe for some of you, there is going to be like people are like when you're trying to confront people like, hey, I see what you've been doing or how you really haven't been there for me. They may be trying to convince you those things never happened. They may be trying to turn the tables on you and saying, well, I only did that because you did this. And if you weren't this way, I wouldn't have done that. Like try to shift the blame on you. And maybe for some of you, like you need that. Not that you need to suffer, but like maybe you need to see this person at their worst so that you can fully say, you know what? I'm not going to feel bad about living my life. I'm not going to feel bad about walking away. So when I say you need that, I mean maybe you just really need to see that person at their absolute worst so that you don't feel bad about walking away. Leos can be very loyal. You know, Leos can be very like sticking to a relationship or sticking to a person. So, you know, maybe you just need to see that ugly side of a person so that you're able to just really be able to accept, you know what, I'm just really giving this person way too much credit and it's time for me to focus on me. I do feel for some of you, this doesn't feel like love and romance. For some of you, it could be. But this feels more to me like other areas of your life, like people you grew up with. It could be family. It doesn't really feel like a workplace situation. It feels to me, oh gosh, Leo, I'm just going to say this. Keep in mind, this is still a general reading, so it might not be true for all of you. I feel for some of you, you came out of like kind of a weird family situation. And then you found a group of people whom for a very long you felt like was your soul family or like your soul tribe or like this is my family of friends and we've been through so much together. But now that you're shifting and you're having your awakening, you might be seeing and saying, you know what? No, these people, maybe they were a huge step up from the people I left, but I still deserve way more than this. And so for some of you, I do feel it has to do with friends that maybe you're outgrowing. Like you're outgrowing these people, like training wheels on a bicycle. And so, you know, it may not be super pleasant for those of you that are experiencing it in that area of your life. We will pull clarifiers in the extended, but again, I do feel there may be some just kind of like calling somebody out in some way. Knight of Swords can also be telling us that you, Leo, are getting very clear about how you're wanting to move ahead with your life, and you just might be in very much like this take charge energy where you're finally learning to trust your thinking and know that you're right. Know that you have the right idea. One more thing I'm going to say about this card and we'll move on to the next one. I think a lot of you are also going to be experiencing it in the way where for a really long time, you haven't acted on your thoughts or ideas because other people have convinced you not to. But when you take their advice, it ends up really terrible. And so I think a lot of you, there's this fed up energy where you're like, you know what? I'm not the one with the bad ideas. They're the ones with the bad ideas. And it's time for me to try my own ideas because if I would have done what I wanted to do before, I wouldn't be dealing with this mess. So for some of you, there's some kind of confidence, take charge energy in that way. Let's go ahead and check out your June. Please show us June 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please show us June 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have the World card. Wow. So whatever's happening in May and June, where there's this back and forth or maybe even some disagreements, it is directly connected to a karmic cycle, which you are happily going to be conquering. Like you're winning that cycle, you're ending that cycle, you're winning the video game. Like whatever you were supposed to learn from it, you learned. You're ready to take away the benefits that it brought you, and you're ready to advance into the next stage of life, into the next experience. Keep in mind the World card can also indicate being seen, being recognized, having attention come your way. It can indicate travel as well. And so those things might kind of come hand in hand for some of you. But I have seen on instances the World card come up in a situation where someone is feeling very whole and very complete within themselves, like comfortable in their own skin, really beginning to just love who they are, accept who they are, feel good about them. You know, it's the ending of a healing cycle. Whatever healing needed to happen, it's been done. So my advice to you, you know, when you get to June, enjoy it. Enjoy it, take it in, you know, appreciate it. If you're able to take it easy, because chances are you're going through a lot of changes, and you might just need a moment to just kind of be like, yeah, you know, I did that, I accomplished that. But I do feel like a sense of like signing, like somebody signing. So you could be receiving contracts that are going to be really bumping you up next level, offers of some kind. I really feel there's like this sense of like making it, like I finally made it. So enjoy that. Let's go ahead and check out your July. Please show us, July 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have, Page of Pentacles. So Page of Pentacles is gonna be a lot of the times you figuring out where you're investing your time, your energy, your money. It can signify new projects, new undertakings. So that would definitely also go in with that whole feeling from the previous month of contracts or offers. Page of Pentacles could also indicate that it's time to really take a look at your relationship with money, your beliefs around money. You know, how your relationship with money has been in the past, and what maybe some of your false beliefs are around money. You know, sometimes when we're raised super duper religious, we're taught that money is evil and money makes people greedy, or that the only way people can be wealthy is if they lie and if they're like dishonest in business. Sometimes people are brought up with those beliefs. And so you are being asked in the month of July to really look at your relationship with money, your beliefs around money. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this to you, Leo. A lot of the times when I see Page of Pentacles come up, Spirit is wanting you to know that you are about to really break and bust out of a significant financial block or financial cycle where money is going to be coming in. But before that money comes in, Spirit wants you to get smart about how you're going to be handling that money. Spirit wants you to get smart about what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be investing that, or how you're going to be saving that. And Page of Pentacles can indicate investments. So, you know, sometimes it's not enough. And I'm not an investor, and this message keeps coming up, guys. So I'm going to look into it myself as well, because it keeps coming up. It's not enough to just take your money and put it in like the savings in the bank. You're saying, oh, well, if, you know, when money comes in, I'm going to save it. That's good. You should have a savings, but also figure out, you know, maybe go talk to a financial planner or a financial manager or something, and ask them about different ways that you can take, you know, just a portion of that savings and invest it so that it's going to grow for you. It's going to do more for you in the long run, right? It'll be worth more when you get to retire, or it'll be worth more when your kids are older and they're going to be going to college, or whatever it is that you're wanting to save for. So, you know, study your relationship with money, your history with money, how you can improve it. What are some ways that you can make the money that's going to be coming in go further for you? Just continue to learn to do more with what you have. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and look at your August. Please show us August 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ooh, and we have the Empress. I do love her. Okay. So, Empress is going to indicate several things. Now, Page of Pentacles, let me just rewind a little bit. The Page of Pentacles we had previously can sometimes indicate a child. Okay, it can indicate a child or a younger earth sign person. And so now that we have Empress coming up, there could be something here within like motherhood. So some of you might be really stepping into the role of motherhood or parenting or nurturing. Maybe you have a child that's been living with the other parent, and they may be coming back around and they're going to be with you. It could be preparation for that as well. I just want to put that out there for some of you. Empress, for me, a lot of the times, though, it is an entrepreneur card. I see it come up a lot with new businesses that are popping up. A lot of the times in my readings, when I'm doing private readings, or even when I used to read for myself before I even had any idea I was going to be doing any of this, Empress card I've seen pops up when it's saying this is a new financial undertaking, or this is a new business, or this is something that you're going to be doing where you're going to get to experience your creativity, you know, do the things that bring you joy, bring a sense of nurturing to others, some service that you might be providing or something that you might be creating that's going to be for a higher good, but it's also a business. Okay, so some of you, like I said, that first card that you had in January where you were going into 2020, like, this is the year I want to figure out what I meant to do, or this is the year I want to do what makes me happy and like be serving my purpose. As we're coming into August, some of you are realizing that this is something that you may also be able to do in terms of a business for yourself, or as like a self-employment. Empress can also indicate enlightenment, like really kind of advancing or going. I hesitate to use the word the highest level, because I mean, come on, like, we're in human form. There's only so high that we can go. But it can indicate that there's going to be a spiritual awakening where you're really ascending to a very high level, and connecting with that high level feminine energy. And it can also indicate motherhood, pregnancy, right? I am not a medical medium. I can't diagnose what happens in people's bodies, and for that reason, I don't do pregnancy readings. So if you're like wanting to get a private reading and you're like, oh well, let me ask Amethyst if Empress means I'm gonna have kids, I would not be able to tell you that. That's not an energy that I would read. I could pull cards, but in terms of intuitively connecting with that energy, I can't say, oh yeah, I feel like you're going to have a kid in August. But for some of you, this could be pregnancy. If that's a goal that you have had for 2020, or if you've been telling yourself, oh, I really want to have a kid this year, then that could be happening in August for some of you. Again, in the extended, we will pull clarifiers. Let's go ahead and see what's happening in September 2020 for our darling Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Knight of Cups. Okay. This could be a love interest. With all of these knights that have come up, I feel for some of you, what is happening with the various knights is you've put it, and I don't care if you're male or female or whatever you identify as, if you have put love out of your mind for 2020, if you're like, look, the last thing I want to do to date, like the last thing I want to do is date, I'm focusing on my career, I'm focusing on my spirituality, or I'm focusing on getting my business off the ground. If you have just said that you are just not even concerned with love in 2020, don't be surprised if people are just chasing after you. There's like a sense of pursuit here. And there's been several nights that have come in. So I do feel for some of you, this is going to be like suitors or people that are trying to chase after you. But the fact that they're showing up as knights is, you know, you might be like, nope, not interested, not interested, not interested. So there could be that aspect. Knight of Cups could be asking you, however, to embrace the softer side of yourself, the softer side of life, the romance, the sensuality of life. And to just have an appreciation of beauty, like just that romantic kind of, you know, colors and, you know, textures and sounds and feelings and expressions and poetry and art and all that. So for some of you, there might be a person coming in that spirit is placing on your path to try to connect you with that energy. And it would be a precursor, or I don't know if precursor is the right word, but it would be someone like an opening act, preparing you for like something higher level. I often see Knight of Cups, however, also indicate you connecting with your passions, doing what makes your heart sing, doing what makes you happy, doing things that are giving you a sense of fulfillment. Like it's satisfying your thirst for something exciting, something more fun, something more creative. Some of you might be coming out of a very boring, very stuffy kind of background and getting to connect with your creativity, and that might be bringing you a lot of joy as well. Let's go ahead and check out your, what are we in, September? Okay, so now we're in October. Please show us October 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have 8 of Swords. Now, 8 of Swords can mean a few different things, okay? For some of you, you're getting in touch with your creativity. You're figuring out what makes you happy. You're figuring out what you love to do. And then all of a sudden, the negative ego is coming up and it's saying, oh, but you could never, do anything useful with that. Like, you'd never be able to make money doing that. You'd never be able to, find friends or like it's hopeless. It's so meaningless, right? And that goes back to the whole thing of growing up feeling like everything you like is stupid, or that everything you like is just, it's dumb and it doesn't matter. This is negative ego. Some of you are finding something that makes you happy, and the negative ego is coming in and telling you that it's stupid and you're never going to be able to do anything meaningful with it. If you doubt being able to make a living doing what you love doing, Instagram should be proof, if nothing else. There's people on there posting pictures of avocado toast and a picture of their butt and some tea that they drank, and they're like raking in crazy amounts of money, okay? If people can make a living doing that, you can make a living out of doing virtually anything, okay? Different strokes for different folks. And I'm not judging. People will say the same thing about tarot, and I understand. They don't get it. I don't get the avocado toast and the tea thing, and that's okay. No judgment, no shade. But your mind is going to determine what you're able to accomplish. And when 8 of Swords comes up, it's telling you need to pay attention. Your mind is starting to put you back into a box. Your mind is starting to limit what you are seeing to be possible. So there could be negative ego thing here that you need to pay attention to. 8 of Swords a lot of times also comes up when somebody figures out what they want to do, or they're wanting to go after these new interests or hobbies or business ideas, but they feel like they can't do it until somebody comes in and helps them. Like they need to be helped, or they need to be rescued, or they need someone to come in and to take the lead. But there's a warning with that. If we're in 8 of Swords energy, we're going to have somebody come in who's going to take advantage of that vulnerability. We have to think of 8 of Swords like the little baby seal in the ocean. If a little baby seal in the ocean is injured and it's in the water bleeding and it's like crying out for help, the sharks are going to pick up on that much faster than other seals can, right? So who's going to come? The predators, right? The predators are going to pick up on that wounded energy. So you don't want to be that baby seal, right? You don't want to be in that wounded energy waiting for someone to come in and help and rescue, because whoever's coming in to help and rescue more likely is more of a shark than a helper. So you need to keep this in mind when we're in this kind of like fear energy. The fear is going to attract people who are going to take advantage of that fear. So if you find yourself in that feeling in October, maybe pray, meditate, maybe go for a walk, just going for a walk or getting up or washing dishes or finding a different place to go sit or change your activity, that alone can break stagnant energy. It doesn't have to be anything massive, you know, like sometimes that littlest thing can, you know, shift your attention to something else. Listen to music that makes you happy. Watch a movie that makes you laugh. You know, these kinds of energies are going to be possible for you to shift so that you're able to shift the focus. This is all in the mind. If you can shift the mind, then this isn't going to be an issue for you in October. Let's go ahead and move on to your next card. Oh, one more thing about the Eight of Swords. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube. Eight of Swords can also indicate for some of you, there could be a partner or someone in your life. I don't usually get into this, Leo, but I feel like I have to say it. I feel like I don't want to say it, but I feel like I have to say it. This could be you, or it could be somebody coming into your life. Maybe it's you because you're becoming more confident and you're breaking out of your vulnerability. But sometimes Eight of Swords could indicate individuals that might want to play around in physically intimate situations with like tying up and that kind of thing. I'll try to keep it PG here. And so there could be something like that. Maybe that's something you're wanting to explore with someone that you trust, or maybe a partner is bringing that to you. If it's something that's being brought to you and you're not comfortable with it, or if you don't know if you trust that person, don't do it. Don't do anything you're not comfortable doing. Don't do anything that you don't feel like it sits well. If it doesn't sit well with you, if it doesn't resonate with you, if it's something that you don't want to do, don't do it. But some of you, I don't know, some of you might be a little feisty in October. I don't know what's going on, Leo. Let's go ahead and check out your November 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. And we have the Fool, Major Arcana. So again, I will say this again, the Major Arcana come up when we're at a significant crossroads where the situation is directly impacting a life lesson, an opportunity to grow, kind of connecting with life purpose. And so when the Fool comes up, we might be feeling very guided to take a leap in a new direction. And a lot of the times what we're doing doesn't make sense to our friends and family. They might be like, what in the world are you doing, Leo? And they may not get it. You know, you may not even get it, right? But it's like this beginning, new beginning, going in a new direction, you know, kind of feeling called to do something. The only thing here is just look before you leap, guys. That's all I can say. Look before you leap. Make sure you have a backup plan. A lot of the times when the Fool card is coming up, the direction you're going in will succeed. It just might not be in a super fast kind of way, right? So like if you're transitioning from having a full-time job and you have some kind of little hobby that's becoming a business, it may get to a point where that small business is beginning to grow and it's becoming harder for you to do the full-time job. So you're thinking, well, I don't want to have to give up my business. I've worked so hard. Let me quit my job and focus on the business. Well, that business might not be making you as much as the full-time job was. So until it does, maybe you need to incorporate a plan B. Okay, I'll work my business, but I'll also get a part-time job, or I'll do Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or whatever it is, right? Like just have something in plan so that you're ready for whatever obstacles may arise or whatever timing issues may be a factor. So, just make sure you have your umbrella. That's all, my darlings. Let's go ahead and see your December. And again, in the extended, we will pull clarifiers. Please show us December 2020 for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have 10 of Pentacles. So, some coin coming in, some bling bling for Leo. 10 of Pentacles is abundance. It's, money coming in. It's also a card that indicates manifesting, like the things that you've been dreaming about, the things that you've been, wishing to have are coming out of the dream realm into the physical realm. So some of you may be seeing things manifesting before the actual money comes in, but take that as a sign that it's coming in. You're bringing abundance into the physical realm. 10 of Pentacles can also indicate, you know, really just having a good foundation, like being able to enjoy, having enough to enjoy, being comfortable physically. So whatever your goals are financially, 10 is also a number of completion. So to have it show up for you in December, it makes me feel like those of you coming into 2020 with very specific financial goals, this makes me feel like this is just letting you know that you are going to accomplish those goals in 2020. And that is exciting. Let's go ahead and see what angel is going to be with you, my lovelies, my darlings. What angel will be with Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising in 2020? What angel will be with Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising in 2020? And we have, ooh, I love Raziel. The Hermit. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. So a couple of fun facts here. Okay, you have the Hermit card kind of coming up as like your theme for the year. And I said some of you are like, I am not dating in 2020. I am focusing on me. Hermit would be right up in that energy, right? Like it would be very much in that way. But the Hermit, even though Hermit might be pulling away or focusing on themselves, they're not alone because they're lonely. They're not alone because they're depressed. They're alone because they're taking some time to disconnect and figure things out. Like get on the right path, get on the right track. Raziel, however, I love to work with Archangel Raziel. Love, 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 love to work with him. He is directly linked with manifesting and manifestation. He's also kind of represented in this particular deck as the magician, you know, just that new beginning, that creating energy. So Hermit would also be, you know, that kind of somewhat connected to that magician energy, and that you're taking some time away, you're disconnecting, and you're creating that world in your head, right? Like you're figuring out what it is that you want. This is a year where you're really going to be getting very clear about what you want, who you are, what you believe, and you're going to be mastering manifestation. If Raziel's showing up, you're going to be mastering manifestation. So it's good. It's good energy, my darlings. I'll put that there if you want to take a look at it, think about it, meditate on it. And you might want to look up Archangel Raziel just to get a better idea of who he is and how he works. And again, I thank you guys for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting. If you would like a private reading, you can click on the Calendly link to schedule your private reading for 2020. I know not a lot of people can schedule a private reading, like it might be costly, or you just might not be able to do that right now. So I wanted to have the extended option. In the extended reading, I'm going to pull clarifiers, and I wanted to make that super affordable. So the extended readings are just $4.44. The instructions on how to order is in the description. All you have to do is PayPal, and I will get the link over to you within 48 hours. Just please, guys, in the PayPal, let me know which zodiac sign you're requesting the extended for. If I don't have anything that tells me which zodiac sign you're asking for, I'm going to have to send it back, because there's just way too many emails to come in to go back and say, hey, which one did you want it for? And if there's, you know, like, and I get so many emails from people trying to sell me stuff, and people trying to get me to sign on to their business, and people wanting me to, you know, buy their oracle cards, and there's also messages from wonderful people with beautiful experiences about how the videos are helping them. So it's very hard to keep track, and I'm not at a point yet where I can handle an assistant. So be patient with me. I really can't do like back and forth email conversations. And that's why I haven't been emailing and saying, hey, which sign did you want this for? But I do thank you guys for, watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope that you will watch the weekly forecasts in 2020. Hopefully they'll help you on this manifesting journey, figuring out what you want, coming into your power in 2020. I'm excited for you, Leo. And I'm wishing you a healthy, happy, prosperous, beautiful, amazing, wonderful 2020.